You are now listening to the Spearsy Spin with your host, Mike Spears.
Hi folks, and welcome to the Spearsy Spin. Today we want to talk about the Muslim religion, also known as Islam. And there's a question now floating out, not only here, but Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Syria, Afghanistan, all these places, because now there seems to be a change in the wind. And the Muslim religion, some are saying that maybe it's not a religion at all. As more and more terror attacks occur around the world, there are more and more disbelievers that Islam/Muslim theology is, it's not even real. But with that said, people like Janet Jackson have converted from being a Jehovah's Witness to a Muslim. Now, this transformation came on the heels of her marriage to Wissam Al-Mana in 2012, and maybe that's why we don't see her on stage anymore in those risque outfits. Of course, this religion has still another big star's seal of approval, this time coming from the wife of David Bowie. Her name is Iman, and she says that she is a Muslim. So there's a couple of the big-time names that appear to be happy to be aligned with the Muslim religion. But now it's time to introduce another woman who, has her own thoughts on the Muslim religion. And her name is Malala Yousafzai. It's difficult to pronounce. Believe me when I tell you. Now the name Malala Yousafzai should ring a bell. She's become an outspoken deterrent to the Muslim religion and continues to be a very strong fighter for the rights and education of women in her homeland of Pakistan and Somalia. Because of her relentless tours and her speeches across the United States, this young woman has made this her life's goal, and now has made her plight into an international movement, trying to help women in third world countries who are suffering under Islam. Now, she was nearly killed by the Taliban in 2012, and she survived to become the youngest Nobel Prize laureate in 2014. Malala Yousafzai gives talks and warnings about the political objectives of Islam, and with the number one consideration being Sharia law for all. Now, Malala and others who deject Islam identify the so-called religion as a polar opposite to Christianity. The law of Islam is all-encompassing, according to her, because it directs its observers to being materialistically obedient. There's no gray area in the Islamic faith, she adds. Your moral values must conform to the moral values of Islam. Sorry about my voice. I've been talking all day. Still, others have decried the suffering of women who are treated as property, and they just take this as that's the way of Islam. The Islamic family will have full control of their daughter's body. It is the way of Islam. Thus, the child brides. Now, if the daughter should, not be down with that and should run away, the parents should or could, if they ever find her, they may stone her to death. Again, supposedly this is the way of Islam. Now, the Muhammad cartoons that were created in France those cartoons would end up costing 12 people their lives over a supposed religious principle. And back in January of 2015, just before noon, 2 Islamic terrorists forced their way into the offices of the French weekly newspaper, which was Charlie Hebdo, in Paris. Now, the terrorists were armed with assault rifles and other weapons, and they killed 12 people and injured 11 others. The gunmen identified themselves as the Islamic terrorist group Al-Qaeda from Yemen. Several related attacks followed in other areas of France, where 5 others were killed and 11 others wounded. Now, in Islam, everyone prays the same prayers at the same time, facing the same direction, while performing the same muscular movements. That's according to, again, the new group of folks coming out who are now talking about Islam and questioning its validity as a religion. Now, there are those who feel that, given its bloody past, that Islam is false because it's built on the lie that Muhammad was a prophet, when many now believe that he was a man simply pretending to be a prophet in order to gain power over people. But you could say the same of Joseph Smith or, L. Ron Hubbard or any other founders of religion. But Islam fosters ideas that Muslims reign supreme, and they sow seeds of social discord. And, according to a quickly growing group of disbelievers, that their whole thing is to take over the entire world. Now, polygamous marriage, that's always been attributed to, the folks living there in Utah, okay? But that may not be the case, because now polygamy seems to play a big part in the Islamic faith, where women are worth less than a camel or a horse, and Muslim societies across the board appear to descend into violence and chaos constantly, and the last 1,000 years would certainly prove that out, because they have sects that fight each other, they have tribes fighting other tribes, and when all this is going on, there's always looting. It seems to be a favorite pastime, of the violent society. In other words, the violent folks that are out there, doing all this stuff. But what about the forced marriages? And what about, anti-Semitism? And what about hatred toward non-Muslims? And what about the teachings that Muslims are superior to non-Muslims, or that men are superior to women? And what about having to tolerate a legal system that's based on inequality? Now, in society, many are now saying that Islam equates directly to violence and disruption. Now, one of the most outspoken women about the Islamic religion is 49-year-old Ian Essi Ali from Pakistan and Mogadishu, Somalia. Her current citizenship is in the United States, but prior to being here in the U.S., she was a member of the House of Representatives in the Netherlands. Now, she is a college graduate. She attended the Leiden University over in the Netherlands. Now, she, not only was in politics, but is also an author, is known for her works in women's rights. Now, Ayin herself, she was a victim of female genital mutilation, and she's an opponent of female genital mutilation, obviously, and she claims that she's also an atheist. Hirsi Ali has been a vocal critic of Islam for years now, and has openly said it must not be misidentified as a religion. This look at the Islamic religion has many people asking the question, is this a religion, or is it nothing more than a complex plan to get more lands and riches? I don't know. But that's our show, and we would love to hear what you have to say about this. So please, visit us at thespearsyspin.blogspot.com, or you can leave us a message on YouTube or Twitter. So we would love to hear from you. Thanks, as always, for being with us. And I want to thank everybody. We hear such great stuff, about the show. Thank you so much. That really means a lot to us. It really does. So thank you.